we've just picked him up. Andy's back, everybody. There he is, look. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog. You join me in the car park of Andy's respite place because we've just picked him up. Andy's back, everybody. There he is, look. Say hello.
Hello.
And you say hello. Hi. And now, as is the tradition, we are heading out and about. Stop it with this chat fam nonsense. I'm not having it. Andy, where are we going now?
To the stump.
To the stump. To the stump. I'm going to ban Anna from being on the vlog if she carries on with this ridiculous chat fam nonsense. We will not allow this to happen.
Otis. This one.
Is it this one?
G.
Oh, right. And what does G mean?
Ground.
Ground. Closing.
Here we are, G.
G, yes.
Ground floor. Doors opening. Please select your floor.
That's Otis.
It is an Otis. It's a very good Otis.
Doors closing.
Pressing. Come back.
Yeah.
Notice, no camera again. I think he's officially done with cameras. We always used to describe it as his way of processing the day later on when he got home, or a way of kind of lowering anxiety, understanding the world better, reliving stuff. But he just doesn't seem to want to do it anymore. It's not as if he's just stopped using his YouTube camera. He's not gone back to the DS. He's got his Vita with him, but he's not using it to film. I think he's just doesn't need it anymore. He's quite happy to just experience his day and get on with it, which I guess is progress. We're just going to miss seeing his videos. And as if he was listening to all of that just to troll me. Andy, what are you going to be doing in a minute?
Tills for Andy Size.
He's got his camera back, he's going to film the tills. So, Kev's an idiot once again, and he wins. So, I guess we go back to the other theory that we've been discussing on the streams. By the way, if you want to get involved in the discussion of the theories, you need to be checking out the YouNow streams as when they happen. Follow my social media. The link to YouNow is down in the description below, but we're doing them sort of 3 or 4 times a week at the moment, and we've been talking about this quite a lot. The other theory that we're working with is that perhaps for stuff like churches and trams and things like that,
I don't think they've got any football.
that he perhaps just feels like he's made enough of those videos now. There's enough of that stuff on his channel. He doesn't need to record any more of that stuff. But when it's something new, like going into a different shop that has a different till, like he's just done, because that's new and different, that's something that's worth recording, because that's a video that he'd like to see that he can't already scratch that itch for with something else that's on his channel, which again is really cool, a really awesome sign of development, because he's planning his own content strategy. But again, we are just clutching at straws really. He's now taken us into WH Smith because for like 3 or 4 trips in a row, when we picked him up, as well as going to the church, we also came in here and bought World Cup stickers. Obviously World Cup stickers aren't a thing now, so he's now looking through the different types of sticker that they've got in there and choosing some different stickers to buy. Andy,
Are you finished?
what stickers did you get?
Star Wars.
Let's have a look.
Wow.
Lego Star Trek.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Never heard of it.
And he's going to film the thing.
It's a pair.
Do you have contact us?
Yeah, we'll do in 1 second. If you could please not film in store, that would be fantastic.
It's just that he's doing.
Yeah.
Well, he was a stroppy little numpty behind the counter in there, wasn't he? Could you please not record in store, please? We asked you before we were doing it, we told you. It's all on Andy's camera. I might drop the footage in here. What a job's worth. Where are we going now then?
I was looking
Splendid.
this way and I was like, oh, you're on.
So because we've picked Andy up a little bit later than what we normally do, this is actually the second time today he's been here. He came here this morning with his respite people, but he wanted to come here again because he always comes here when we pick him up. Well, it seems that Boston on the whole has got a bit of a grumpy on today for video. Asked not to film in the shop. Now I've been told I'm not allowed to film in there, despite the fact I've filmed in there dozens of times before. They didn't want me filming, so I'm afraid you have very limited Stump footage today. I wonder if I'll get the hat trick of being told not to film. Someone seems to have stolen most of the water out of the river. If anyone's seen the missing water, answers on a postcard please. We're now heading for B&M, because if you remember from yesterday's vlog, when we were in B&M in Peterborough, we saw something really cool that we think Andy will like, and we're hoping they'll have the same thing in this one. Otherwise, we probably should have bought it yesterday. But we wanted him to see it first, because he might take one look at it and think, nah, don't care, not interested. I wonder how long they kept this one in the store cupboard out the back until they realised it was probably safe to sell it again. Tempted to buy it as a collector's item. Andy, what's this?
That one.
You interested?
Yeah.
No?
Finish.
Doesn't care? Doesn't want it? Fair enough. That thing, if you couldn't see, because Andy wandered off so quickly, it was a coin pusher, like what he played in Blackpool, like what he played in Skegness. And we've got him stuff like that before and it hasn't really worked. That's why we weren't really sure whether he'd want it, and yeah, he's taken one look at it. Nah, he's expecting it to be rubbish. It's not like what you get at the seaside. So we've just saved, yeah, we've saved ourselves £12.99. We just need to save up for a real one, have it in the corner of the garage. I'm definitely going for the he doesn't need to have multiple copies of the same video theory, because we've just told him the bells are going to ring in like 2 minutes. He's not even interested in hanging around to listen to them, so it's not even that he doesn't feel the need to record it again, because he's got that so many times. He doesn't even feel the need to hang around and listen to it, even though he really enjoys it. Presumably he's done that this morning. He's been up there waiting for the bells this morning, so he's kind of just going through the motions, I imagine, doing this for us, because this is what we do when we pick him up. So he wants us to have our usual routine. And now we're just going to grab a cup of coffee and go home, aren't we?
Yeah.
The bells are ringing, or they were. His ears pricked up for a second, but he didn't even stop walking. He's now, yeah, he's now zoned in on just going home, carrying his national lottery ticket as well. So he hasn't played the lottery, he's just picked up one of the slips. He likes the slips, so he'll just bring that home and add it to his pile that he's got at home. If any of you are inventors, I need you to invent something for me, because it's completely impossible to carry a vlogging camera and vlog whilst also carrying 2 iced lattes. So because Anna had chocolate and stuff with her, she wasn't able to help, so I haven't been able to vlog for nearly 5 minutes, which for me is very challenging. That's been from downstairs in the shopping centre, but still, it would be handy to have a tripod that had coffee holder on either side, or just one coffee holder would be good. So if someone could work on that, send me some prototypes, we'll make something happen. And we're home, in fact, so home that it's, so home, is that a thing people say? That it's now 9:05 in the evening. I've just done an hour-long YouNow live Q&A. The link to the replay of that is down in the description. It was a lot of fun. You should go and check that out. But I did want to just talk a little bit more, as part of Secret End of the Vlog Club, about the whole camera thing. I've touched on it a little bit throughout the vlog. It's obviously been a big issue for us over the last week or so as we've been trying to figure out what's going on, and I think we've decided, finally, I know a lot of you have been telling us this all along, but I think we've decided that we're pretty comfortable with it. We're happy with what's happening now. It seems pretty clear, based on all the evidence we're presented with, that it's not that he's fallen out with his camera. It's not the piece of tech that's a problem, because we saw today when he was in WH Smith's and he was filming in there that when it's something that he wants to film, he'll still film using that camera. He has no issue at all using that camera. But I just think he's being a little bit more selective about the videos that he makes, because he knows that they end up on his channel. And he's kind of curating his own content a little bit more. He doesn't quite explain why he didn't want to film on the train the other day. I guess it might just, there's a couple of reasons why he might not want to film that. It might be that he's very similar to being on a tram and he's got a load of that stuff on the channel. It might be that although he enjoyed the day, he didn't feel the need to relive it. It wasn't something he was really into that he needed to be able to watch back, or it might just be that he's now capable of enjoying a day without having to film it, and actually he was enjoying himself so much that he didn't want to take himself away from the experience and film it, which that in itself is a massive development and something that we should encourage, because it was much, says Kev the vlogger, but it's much better for him to be present and engaged and involved in an activity and enjoy the activity for what it is than be an outsider to that activity, only there to film it, which is what he can be sometimes when he's going to do stuff. So I think we have to take it for what it is. It's not that he's refusing to get involved in activities anymore. He's actually far more involved in activities than he has been in the past. He's been much more talkative, he's been much happier, he's smiling more, he's laughing more. And we always used to describe the camera as it was his coping mechanism. It was his way of processing this big scary world. He would look at it through a camera lens because that's much less intimidating. You've got a much smaller field of vision than if you've got the whole world overwhelming you. You can just focus on, right, this is the bit that I'm pointing the camera at, this is the bit that I'll focus on. I'll just look at this little square. And then it also allowed him to go home and review that over and over again, and he's done this way back in the DS days. He would go back and watch stuff over and over and over again, even bad stuff that he hadn't enjoyed at the time, just to filter it through his system, to understand it, to process it. And I think he's now just taken another leap forward in his development, where video now has a different purpose for him, because he doesn't need it to be able to process a day. He can enjoy a day for what it is. He can then think about it when he gets home and talk to us about it. He's talked to us about the train thing, even though he never filmed it. But for it to be something for him to film, it actually has to be something that he wants to then have made into a video that appears on YouTube. So for today, the only things that he wanted to be able to watch later were bits in these shops, which completely fair enough. Let him curate his own content. We'll get one of his videos out tomorrow. It'll be a very short one, and it'll just be from Tills. You might see the grumpy WH Smith man that we maybe saw earlier on in this video. It's all change. Someone asked on the stream just now, it doesn't mean Andy's channel's dead, and I don't think it does. I think it just means it's changing. It might be a little bit quiet for a little while he gets his head around his new content direction, but he is very, very aware that the stuff that he films ends up on his YouTube channel. So I think as and when he finds something that he wants to film, stuff will start to appear on the channel again. He's been showing a little bit of an interest in filming his games that he's playing, which is something I've never really put on the channel. Although he does film it sometimes, because it's kind of him filming his screen with a phone, whether it's up on the TV or down on his iPad. But he might want to move more towards gaming content. He might one day turn the camera around and talk into it. Who knows? He's made so much progress in the last year. We're almost a year now from the back to school meltdown video that probably 95% of you came to the channel via. I think it's had over 2 million views now in a year. But we are going to do, on his back to school day this year, we're going to do a back to school 1 year on type thing, like we did for my dad's birthday back in February. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback we had then was the huge change that he'd gone through in the year since the meltdown on the way to my dad's to just going there without any issue at all. And it was a massive, massive change, and it was almost unrecognisable as the same kid. Well, he's come on leaps and bounds since February. He is not going to be recognisable as the same kid, and it's so very cool. So if that means he's not going to film stuff anymore, that is absolutely a price worth paying. But I am going to leave things there. If you have enjoyed today's vlog, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for more daily vlogs. And thank you very much for watching.